Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakatarash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of the video is Thy Shame Shall Be Seen. All right, this is the Most High Yahweh, right? Bahashem Yahweh Shai exposing these devils for who they are, right? The wicked of the earth. Right, John 10 and 10 says, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. Right, and these Edomites fit that bill. All right, and in these last days, it's coming out that everything that's happening, it starts with the Amalekites, right, the small hatters, the 1948ers, right, those Edomites in the land of Israel saying that that they're the Israelites, right, they're the root of all problems on planet Earth because they run and control the world, right, they make the laws and the decrees on what can and can't be, right, because they own all the money. Right, John 10 and 10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Right, so we're waiting on a new, right, rulership. Right, we're waiting on Yahweh Shai to, set up the kingdom of heaven. Right, where the Israelites take authority and rule and govern the world in righteousness. Right, but currently we have the wicked. Right, he's being totally exposed here in these last days. This Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right, and basically division. They're divided. All right, you'll go over here. All right. So of course the prophets, the men of the Lord, are speaking on the things that these devils has been up to. But now in these last days, their own tongue, is falling on themselves. Right? As Psalm 64 and 8, their own people, because they're divided. They're not playing a fair game with each other. Psalm 64 and 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all the, so basically, even these nations, no longer want to deal with America, and they're seeing how they're liars, right? Iran doesn't want to do negotiations with them no more, right? And everybody else is just watching, right? Just complete devils. Nero 47 saying might is right, just blowing up people's ships and boarding the ships and just stealing the ships and, all these different things that they're doing. All right, this is Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And it goes into what I wanted to get right here. I'm gonna just play the clip. Ultimately, it's going to the USS Liberty. All right, being attacked by the Israelis. But these devils don't care for their own people, right? They're not united, right? Because they are all Edomites, right? You just have the Amalekites, and then you have the regular Edomites. But they're both Edomites, talking about the regular white people, the so-called white people, self-proclaimed white man, right? Though our people, the Israelites, we're scattered everywhere. So some of us do look or have a lighter complexion, to look like an Edomite, right? But that's through slavery, rape, robbing, destroying everything and all of that. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 1 in the GNT. It says, if a person never says anything carelessly, he is to be congratulated. He doesn't need to feel guilty. If a person has a clear conscience and never gives up hope, he is certainly to be congratulated. It isn't right for someone who is selfish to be rich. What use is money to a stingy person? Now, this is the point, because these devils hoarded the money from their own people. If you look at the current state of America, a lot of people, people living in, not so good areas, right? The cities don't have enough money, whatever the case may be, they don't have enough funds to like actually have the American dream. A lot of your taxes goes to these small hatters, and they just take the money, and so much so that there's funds set up for individuals like free housing, free schooling, free college and healthcare and things like that, and then money put into your accounts where you're able to hit a certain age, and at that age have millions of dollars in your bank account, and you're able to start up businesses and flourish and do things like that. So they took that money from the American people, which are their people, and give it to themselves. Says it isn't right for someone who is selfish to be rich. What use is money to a stingy person? If you deny yourself in order to accumulate wealth, you're only accumulating it for someone else. Others will use your riches to live, luxury. The scriptures talk about the riches being moth eaten, hoarding all this money. They got mad money, but they want more, and it ain't like they can buy anything new. How can you be generous with others if you are stingy with yourself? If you are not willing to enjoy your own wealth, no one is worse off than someone who is stingy with himself. It is a sin that brings its own punishment. When such a person does something good, it is only by accident. His selfishness will sooner or later be evident. All right, and that's happening now. People are realizing that all their money has been going to these Amalekites, and they don't care about the people here in America. Right? They're saying now from the government is Israel's first. Right? And if you don't say Israel first, then Israel finds a way to get you out the way, like they did this guy Thomas Massey, who's now speaking up against them now because they're stingy. They didn't want this dude to win. They didn't want to have a position because he had differences with them. A selfish person is evil. He turns his back on people's needs and is never satisfied with what he has. Greed will shrivel up a person's soul. Some people are too stingy to put bread on their own table. And again, these are the same people, right? These Edomites, they're just divided, right? The Edomites over there in the land of Israel don't care about the Edomites here in the land of America, right? And they hoarded everything, and they hoarded the blessing that was given to them. These Edomites are supposed to be living out their blessing here, right? Live by the sword, take the lands, and all of that. But to his own people, he poisoned them, sickened them, and different things like that. Right, that's why you got people with the ASL now trying to get the brain chip put into their brain to help themselves from something that the government did to them. So again, this is just the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah putting that shameful spewing on these devils, and they're being fully exposed. All right, and even in this video, this dude goes on to say that something that needed to be done for like 49 years or 59 years, something like that. So they all knew. Right, but they ain't say nothing about it. So even he himself is like, so why you waited this long to say something about it? Habakkuk 2:15, woe unto him, but because that's the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah exposing these devils in the last days before he comes and beat their ass. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth diabolical to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shameful glory, drink thou also, and thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right. So no one is looking at America like the delicate, princess. They try to make themselves seem, to be. Right. Isaiah 47:1. And I mean, look at the things Nero 47 is doing right now, manipulating the market, saying this, that, and the third to steal all this money. Meanwhile, people can't afford groceries and healthcare and dying and all these different things. Meanwhile, he's playing games with people's, lives and their livelihood, and then shit, like the 401ks and all of that, that stuff fluctuates too, but he could care less as long as he's making the money. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take millstone and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Bro, if New York 47 was arrested right now and put the charges for the things that he's doing, people will be appalled. He stole how much? You know, says right. Yahushua said, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. Right, because Yahushua is about to pull up. Right. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right. So ultimately, the Most High is coming to do damage, right? Yahushua is coming to do damage, and these devils are being exposed, right up to that point when he comes, basically. So I'm gonna play like 5 minutes of this, right? And again, Tommy Massey slams Israel for attacking the USS Liberty, killing 34, but it wounded like 180. And also, this was right after they paid millions of dollars to make sure this guy doesn't win the elections. So they're definitely divided and fighting.
Thomas,
and this is Valenti videos. All right, he does. He goes in on the news. All right, he don't really hold no punches or anything like that.
Thomas Massey is on the House floor right now, slamming Israel for their 1967 attack on the USS Liberty. And I'd like to point out that I don't think a single American politician has ever called out Israel for their attack on the USS Liberty. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in 1967, in like international waters, there was an American ship, the USS Liberty, and out of fucking nowhere, they were quote unquote accidentally attacked by Israeli jets, and they wounded like 136 American soldiers. Or 180 American soldiers or sailors. They killed 36 of them, burning them alive with napalm, and then they used their machine guns to strafing run the escape boats as they were trying to paddle away to safety. Absolute nightmarish shit. And Thomas Massey has nothing left to lose. I mean, he just lost his Kentucky primary after AIPAC raised over $30 million to push forward his opponent, which is the most expensive American primary race of all time. Second and third place also funded by AIPAC. Just fucking demented behavior. But Thomas Massey, he's been going hard in the paint. He stood against Trump for hiding the Epstein files. He stood against Trump for his illegal and offensive war of aggression in Iran at the behest of Israel. He stood against Trump for invading Venezuela and kidnapping Maduro. Just diabolical shit. Now, I have not watched this yet, but I can't wait to do it. Let's just dive right in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely.
Mr. Speaker, it's my great honor, maybe one of the biggest honors of my lifetime, to stand here on the floor and do something that's 59 years overdue, to recognize the survivors and those who gave their lives on the USS Liberty 59 years ago today.
Bro, you bring up back in the day, you bring up the fucking USS Liberty and everybody immediately assumed you were a fucking Nazi. Israel didn't mean to do it. They're our greatest ally. Israel did not mean to do it.
When they were viciously attacked by IDF jets, and also after that by torpedo boats. I'm going to tell you a little bit of their story. And by the way, there's at least a dozen of them here today with us. I just met with them in my office, and they related this story to me. It was a clear day. The USS Liberty was one of the most technologically sophisticated ships in the Navy, but it was virtually unarmed, and it was sent to observe the 6-day war going on in the Middle East between Israel and its neighbors. It arrived on June 7th, and the weather was clear.
June 7th, I believe that was 2 days ago, bro. So it's intentional, the reason why he's bringing that up.
The planes came out to meet them, to investigate, and then on the next day, on June 8th, they started the day. The visibility was unlimited. The American flag was flying proudly on the USS Liberty.
Oh, so this was filmed on June 8th, 2026. The attack happened on June 8th, 1967. So it's been over 50 years, but he did this on the anniversary.
More planes came from Israel to surveil the boat, the ship. And they thought they were in good shape. But what happened next surprised them all. French Mirage jets showed up and for 25 minutes strafed and attacked the USS Liberty.
25 minutes is insane. 25 minutes and you didn't figure out that that was a fucking U.S. ship, even though there's American flags flying all over it, which is why people such as myself, any serious person knows, Israel intentionally attacked the USS Liberty.
They shot rockets. They shot 30-millimeter cannons into the hull and into the ship. They even dropped napalm on the bridge of the ship.
They dropped fucking napalm on the bridge. They boiled American sailors alive with fucking napalm. Greatest ally, right? Greatest ally, right? Keep sending my tax dollars to Israel, right? It's anti-Semitic if I say that Israel is a dog shit nation, an apartheid genocidal regime that just murders its way through. That's anti-Semitic, right?
This was an effort to kill everybody on board. There was no intention of taking prisoners. After the 25 grueling minutes of attack on this virtually unarmed ship,
I'm telling you right now, the Israelis and Netanyahu are probably going to come out and make a statement and accuse him of blood libel. Mark my fucking words, come back here when I'm right. They're going to accuse Thomas Massie of blood libel and label him as like a great anti-Semite.
thought things were over and they could recover. The torpedo boat showed up, 3 torpedo boats. They launched 4 torpedoes. One of them hit the hull of the USS Liberty and killed 25 people instantly. It blew a 40-foot by 40-foot hole in the side of this ship. They were intent on sinking it, but they were also intent on not having a single survivor. According to eyewitness accounts, the Israelis machine gunned the lifeboats that they put down. They machine gunned the firefighters who were on the deck.
Dude, I talk a lot of shit about Republicans, but the amount of fucking balls it takes for Thomas Massie to be doing this right now is unbelievable. Nobody has the audacity to hold Israel accountable for their attack on the USS Liberty.
All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play another video. All right. But I'm gonna be right back. All right. All right, so Shalom. So the video I wanted to play next was because they were saying that the airplanes was like dropping napalm and shooting them up, but at the same time, while that was happening, the submarines was on the way. But at the same time, the planes identified it was an American, you know, I believe before the submarines got there and shot the torpedoes, you know. So it's like you confirm who you were shooting at, but the torpedoes still launched from the submarines. All right. So I'm gonna play like 5 minutes of this also. And again, the Lord Yahweh Bashina is just exposing these devils.
History and let's watch.
Jimmy Dore Show.
This audio tape, which has never been broadcast before, was recorded in real time by the Israeli military during the assault. The woman's voice in the background is counting down the seconds. It proves that Israeli commanders knew all along that they were attacking an American ship.
So they knew it. They knew it, and Lyndon
When
Baines
the
Johnson.
attack started and we realized that we needed help, we tried to communicate with the Sixth Fleet.
They were jamming both our distress frequencies and our tactical frequencies. The tactical frequencies is all right, but the international distress frequencies is a violation of international law to jam them, and the Israelis were jamming them.
And we could not get a signal across. Here's the question I have to ask. Who would know the frequencies other than an ally? And who was the ally in the war? It wasn't Egypt. It was Israel.
So he just said that the ship's communications was jammed because the person that was jamming it knew the frequency, right? And he said, "Who you heard him?" So it had to be Israel.
They would know, and only they would know in this conflict what our frequencies would be.
In a publicly circulated recording attributed to radio traffic after the first
Up
strike.
above,
Here we are.
the Israeli military argued about what should happen next and who should sink the Liberty.
Again, so the pilots, the aircraft pilots, identified it as American, but they still sunk the Navy basically to finish the job. You know, so it's all right there. I wanted to grab this again because he also says something else regarding the fact that, you know, basically they asked for help, and from like their, the U.S. asked for help, or that ship, the USS Liberty asked for help from the U.S. and the help was on the way, but then it turned around, is what this dude says. I don't know if I can find the exact part. Let's see. Just bear with me. Let me see.
Yes, sir. Yes, Big Daddy Israel. We'll do.
Even though their signals were being jammed by the Israelis, got a signal out. And there were ships that tried to respond. The USS Saratoga, the USS America sent planes. Both of them sent planes to help the USS Liberty. And something happened that's never happened before. A ship under attack, the planes were recalled. This is never.
We recalled our own fucking planes, the ones that were sent to defend them, because we are Israel's bitch. We probably got word, hey, it's us, it's Israel, we're attacking your ship. Don't you fucking dare try to defend it. You try to fucking defend it and we will shoot down those goddamn planes. And you know what our fucking generals probably did? Yes, sir. Yes, Big Daddy Israel. We'll do whatever you want, Big Daddy Israel. Fucking disgusting.
Never happened before.
Hey, so just the same shameless feeling on these devils' glory, right? They don't care about the people. They don't care about their army officials. You will join armies with, Israel, and you will go to fight this war for Israel, as Jeremiah 50:45 tells you. Jeremiah 50:45 says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord," all caps. It's the Lord here, Yahweh, right? "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, that he have taken against Babylon," right, which is America, "and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans," America. It says, "Surely the least of the flock, the small hatters, the 1948ers, the cosplayers in the land of Israel, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." Israel is going to be destroyed, and America is going to be destroyed right along with it, right? For being, they're going to be destroyed together. All right, so I just want to bring it out. Lord willing, you will edify from the lesson. Shalom. 2, the hope of the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.